So, a couple of options here that were floated by Yahoo Sports Jake Fischer on Friday US time, which perked my interest from a Warrior perspective. There's no doubt about that. The first one who I think would be an amazing fit in Golden State, and there's been murmurs of his availability in recent weeks, and I've kind of questioned why that is the case, and I've questioned if they are real in any way, shape, or form. But this report certainly suggested that they are real, and that is Brook Lopez, who Fisher says the Bucks are monitoring his trade value over the offseason, obviously, and potentially looking to change things up a little bit, particularly defensively, become a bit more versatile on that end, blah, blah, blah. No one cares about it from a Milwaukee standpoint. The fact is, if Brook Lopez is available, this is someone that the Warriors should certainly be targeting. Yes, 36 years old. Yes, entering year 17 next season, I think. But a guy that's still a productive two-way force in the NBA. Averaged 12.5 points this season, nearly 36.6% three-point shooting this season. I'll get my words out. Over 2 blocks a game. Again, going back to last season, 2022-23, what was he, second in Defensive Player of the Year voting, all NBA defensive first team. Still a very good player in this league. And I'm putting my hat down on this one. If the Warriors do not trade for a star, like a genuine all-star player this season, a guy that we look at as, okay, he could make the all-star team next season. If they don't trade for a guy like that, then I think Brook Lopez would be the most impactful piece they could possibly get outside that caliber of player. And the reason is solely because of how he would fit and the opportunities that it would provide for the Warriors in terms of their lineups. Because all of a sudden, Steve Kerr spoke about playing Jonathan Kuminga at the 3 and whether he can be developed into being able to do that, to that being a viable option next season. Can he improve his shooting? Can he improve his ball handling, decision making to be a viable 3 rather than primarily a 4, which he is at the moment? Well, the necessities of him, improving his shooting and all that other stuff lessens if you can get a shooting big man in Brook Lopez and a shooting big man that is good, that is going to shoot above 36-37% from three-point range, and he's a legitimate defensive force in the paint. Allows Kuminga to play more at the 3, Draymond at the 4, Lopez at the 5. I think that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. You can use Kuminga then in a way and hope he develops in a way, and I'm not saying he's Giannis. No one's saying he's Giannis. But you can try and develop him in a way that is very similar to that, where you spread the floor. And there is going to be times next season where the Warriors need, especially if they don't get that second offensive star, to lessen the burden on Steph. They need to give the ball, and we saw this at times this season, they need to give the ball more to Jonathan Kuminga. Let him go ISO every now and again. And that's going to be so much easier if the paint isn't clogged with a Kevon Looney or a Trace Jackson Davis, and you can have a guy spacing out on the perimeter like Brook Lopez, while, again, that also fortifies your defense on the other end where you've still got a genuine shot blocker playing next to Draymond. I just think it would be the perfect fit from a Golden State standpoint. And I don't know what it would take necessarily, but you've got to inquire about it if you're the Warriors. You've got to see what it's going to take. My colleague at Blue Man Hoop /Fansided, Josh Cornelison, did a trade proposal a couple of weeks ago that saw Loon, Gary Payton II, and Moses Moody go to the Bucks for Brook Lopez. If that was at all available, if Mike rang up, offered that, and the Bucks said yes, that is a home run trade. It just is. You make that trade 100 times out of 100. I love Loon, love GP2, love Moses. You're gone if it means bringing back Brook Lopez. You absolutely do that trade. Okay, do I think the Bucks would do that? No. I think you'd have to add draft capital to it. I'm not sure if even they'd want to do. I'm not sure if they'd want Looney. I'm not sure if they'd want. GP2 could probably be handy from their. They obviously had major perimeter defensive issues this season. Moody could be handy for them. There's some upside for the Bucks there, but they're probably going to want a draft pick. They might try and exchange different players. I don't know, but if you're the Warriors, you've got to inquire about it because it would be the perfect fit. And given that fit, I think it would be the most impactful trade the Warriors could make outside of genuinely trading for a second star. So Brook Lopez, certainly one to monitor here over the coming weeks.